Okay, welcome to today's Excel with Business and Filtered webinar, collaborating with Google Drive. I want to do a few housekeeping items before we get started. First, I want to encourage you to use the Q&A feature if you have a question. You can certainly put a question in the chat, but the Q&A button is easier for me to see and to make sure that I answer your question. Sometimes in chats, a question will go by and I won't have ever seen it, and so then it's not answered. So the Q&A works best for me. Also, you should be seeing my title screen right now that says Collaborating with Google Drive. So if you're not seeing that, then please let me know, because sometimes that issue is on my end, and I have done that before. I want to introduce myself before we get started. So I've moved on to that second screen, and just wanted to share that my name is Tess Osman, and I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I do a lot of these webinars for Excel with Business and Filtered, and lately I've been doing a lot of PowerPoint. I did a Microsoft Word masterclass a few weeks ago. Even though my primary love is leadership development and facilitating, but all of these programs that I have been conducting webinars for are programs that I use in my leadership consulting business. So it makes sense that I would share all of the tips and tricks that I have. So we are going to jump in and get started. Remember that if you have a question, put it in the Q&A, and that way I will be able to keep track of it. Also, if you know of a tip that I don't share, you can put that in the chat box. I love doing these webinars because I learned stuff too. I am by no means a Google Drive master, so what I'm sharing today are all of the things I love about collaborating with Google Drive and why it makes my life easier. So let's jump in. Simply put, I think Google Drive is amazing. You can store any kind of file in the Google Drive cloud. So if you're using this for work or for collaboration, Microsoft Word documents, Excel spreadsheets, and PowerPoint files easily upload and save into Google Drive, and then you can open them with Google Docs, Google Sheets, or Google Slides, and begin collaborating in real time with them. I also love the file storage in Google Drive, because if you have a personal account, you get 15 gigs for free, which is great, and you get 30 gigs of storage if you have a business account. I will be showing you most of the screenshots today that I'm using are from my business account. So if you don't have a Google Drive business account, yours will only have 15 gigs of storage where you see my 30. That's probably the biggest difference that you'll notice. I love that I can open Google Drive files from anywhere. So I have the app on my phone, and I can easily switch between looking at a Google slide on my computer and then also on my phone. I could do it on a tablet. There's apps for the Droid, the iPhone. It's super. And you can also choose which documents to store offline. So if you don't have internet access, but you really want to continue working on a Google Sheet, a spreadsheet, you can store it offline to access when you're not going to have internet access. So I really love it for that reason. And then on top of the file storage possibilities, Google Drive makes it very easy to collaborate with anyone. So you can share documents for others to easily view without attaching it to an email. You can share documents that others can edit and comment on. You can chat real time within a document. So you can have synchronous collaboration sessions via Google Drive. You can share it with people who don't even have Google Drive. You can make a document and then make it public. So if you have a survey, you can just make the survey public and have anybody answer it. You have so many resources for collaborating in Google Drive. I will make this disclaimer that if you work in a full-time job that has a very tight security policy, for saving files, distributing files, etc., then Google Drive might not be for you in terms of work files, or maybe only certain types of work files. So I do want to make that disclaimer. The other thing I want to say is I use Google Drive a lot in my personal life too, so I'm going to give you examples throughout. So even if you aren't going to be able to use Google Drive for work documents, there are still plenty of ways in your personal life that you'll be able to make Google Drive work for you. The most recent example I have is that my husband and I had a shared Google Sheet for Christmas gifts for our kids. And we tracked what our ideas were, what was going to come from Santa, what was going to come from us, and also cost. And then we even had a checkbox for if it was purchased or not purchased. And so we both logged in and could make edits in real time. And it was so much easier than just emailing back and forth or trying to remember to talk to him after the kids went to bed at night, which at that point, you're just tired yourself and want to go to bed. So let's get started. If you have a Gmail address, then you probably have a Google Drive account and you don't even know it. So if you're not using Google Drive, then the way you get Google Drive is to first get a Gmail address. Once you have a Gmail address, Google Drive is automatically part of that suite. So Google has what they call the G Suite. It has a ton of different programs that are in the cloud and that you can use, and Google Drive is one of those. So if you don't have a Google Drive account, sign up for Gmail, and then that's how you use it. And if you do have a Google Drive account, then you just go to drive.google.com. So anytime I want to access all my files in Google Drive, I just go to drive.google.com. I want to start with the page layout and walk you through what your Google Drive looks like. So a feature I really like is this quick access toolbar, and you see two of my documents here, and they're showing up because they're my most recently accessed. I really like this when you're collaborating because you can immediately go to the spreadsheet everybody's been working on or the Word document that people are typing comments into. Down here underneath quick access are the folders. So before I get into collaborating with Google Drive, I'm going to go through how to I'm going to go through Google Drive Basics, and then I'm going to go through file structure because both of those are really important for collaborating. Hey, we just had a question come in. How long will this training last for? This is an hour webinar. So it's important to make folders, and I'm going to show you how to do that. It's very easy. I'm a very visual person, so I like that I can see those folders visually, but I'll also show you the other place where you can access them as well. The next piece of the page layout is the search drive. I love Google Drive's search function. They use artificial intelligence to help with their search feature. So you may have a document that has a different title than the word that you're searching for, and Google Drive will still find that document, which happens to me all the time on my computer, and I'm looking for a certain file and I can't find it because I'm calling it by a different name. Maybe I'm the only one that happens to. So I like that Google Drive search feature is really intuitive. Over here on the left is your toolbar, and this is where you can quickly access the main features. So My Drive is like your My Documents folder on your computer. That's where all of your files are going to be and your folders. Shared with Me is any document that someone has shared with you. We're going to dive more into this feature in a little bit. Recent is just a page of the recent documents, which can be really helpful if you're using this a lot. I use that feature just to sort through, because I, have hundreds of documents in my Google Drive. And so recent will just give me the ones that I have frequently been using. Starred, or think of that as your favorite. So you can star files so that they show up in that starred section. And this might be a really important file, but it might also be one that you don't want to forget about. It could be one that everybody is using, etc. A question just came in about the search feature. Does it look inside files for words or numbers in docs or sheets, or just the file name? No, it looks inside the document. It looks inside the Google slide. It looks inside the Google sheet. It looks inside the Google spreadsheet if you've got words in there. It's super cool. Is that the last thing? Oh, and then the other thing that I wanted to point out before I move on to the next slide is underneath that folders section, all of your other files start to appear. So I'm a visual person and I like my files to be in this visual way versus just a list, but you can also view it as just a list if you want to. See that icon over there in the top right underneath my picture? So not the eye, but the one beside it. You can change your view just like you would change it on your PC or Mac when you're in your files and looking for something. All right, so let's look more closely at that menu bar. So now what we're looking at is over here on this left side where you see new, my drive, shared with me, recent, start, and trash. I'm zooming in on that on this next screen. So when you click new, this is where a lot of the magic happens in Google Drive. So you can make a new folder. That is the folders that you saw on this screen, 2U onboarding program, collaborating with Google Drive, and resumes, okay? So new folder. You can upload any file from your computer, so new file upload, or you can upload a whole folder. So that's how you take files and folders off of your computer and get them into Google Drive's cloud. And then also from Google Drive, you can start a new Google Doc, Google Sheet, or Google Slide within that page too. So you can go to docs.google.com or sheets.google.com or slides.google.com. You see in the the theme here, and go directly to a new PowerPoint or Word doc or spreadsheet, but you can also within your Google Drive do that. And the reason that would be helpful is if you are in a certain folder in your Google Drive, you might want to be in that folder and then open a new doc or a new sheet from that folder, and then will automatically be saved in that folder. You don't have to do that, but that is for convenience. That is a reason why you would do that. Underneath that More button are some other features that will that are just other things that Google offers. So Google Forms are the Google surveys. You can find that under the More button. They have I know it's not called Paint, but they have some type of little paint program that you can use. So just lots of things and types of documents and files that you can create within Google. And they all save to your Google Drive. Here is what I was talking about with the search feature. So take a look. Let's say, so I pulled this top screenshot as just an example. I went to Paris, I took a bunch of pictures of the Eiffel Tower, and I thought that I labeled all those pictures Eiffel Tower, but I didn't. I labeled those Eiffel Tower pictures Sightseeing 01 and Cafe View. And so I'm looking for the Eiffel Tower, and if I type in Eiffel Tower, it will bring up Google will bring up what it thinks are matches to what I'm looking for. How fantastic is that? So Google's artificial intelligence function is just above and beyond what your computer can do when you're searching for a file, but you might not know the name. Google Drive recognizes objects in your images, so that's why it's pulling up pictures, even though the file says Sightseeing 01. It recognizes text in scanned documents. So it's extremely awesome to use. Another thing about the search bar is, so here I showed the previous search bar slide, I showed you searching for Eiffel Tower brings up options of what it could be. Another thing that Google Drive will help you do is knowing the file structure. So if I'm looking for my weekly HR meeting notes and I can't find the exact ones that I want, notice here, if I right click on so I've typed weekly in the search bar, it's brought up anything with the word weekly in it that it thinks I might be searching for. If I right click on weekly HR meeting and hover over locate, Then now notice at the bottom of the screen, I'm going to draw a really shaky arrow, that the file structure is there for me. So, oh, okay, I saved it in my HR folder, not my weekly meetings folder. So not only can you quickly find the file, but Google Drive will remind you of where it's located. You can also, let's see, I'm trying to find, let me draw a square because that way it won't look like my kindergartner did it, and it'll be easier to see. So from that right click, you can also move it. Oh, hey, here's what I did. I saved it in the HR file. I don't want it to be in the HR file. I want it to be in the weekly meeting file. You can view details. This is who it's been shared with. You can make a copy of it. You can download it and put it back into Microsoft Word on your computer. So just by right-clicking on a file after you search for it, there's all sorts of functionality there. All right, I need to clear all my drawings. Okay, so that was a very quick hit on getting started with Google Drive. And so what I just covered for everyone, if you joined a little late, was how to get a Google Drive account. You just need Gmail. I went over the page layout. I went over the menu bar, and then I also talked about the search function. And so if you understand the menu bar and you understand how to search, then you are off to a good start with Google Drive, because as you're uploading files or making files, you want to know where they're located, which is where the search function comes in, so that you can collaborate and share that document with others. And so let's say you've used that new button and you've uploaded files from your computer, and now you want to start creating folders. It's very easy to create folders in Google Drive, and I'm going to walk you through it. So when you start to create folders in Google Drive, there's really three things to remember. Just like when you're creating folders on your computer, you want to have a file structure, but you need to think through it a little more deeply with Google Drive because of that share function. So are you going to be putting documents into a folder and sharing the whole folder? Do you need to have a folder for private documents that you want to be sure you don't share with anybody? So now that we've got this added level of collaboration with Google Drive, sometimes you might need to organize your files differently. One cool thing, and this is the gray circle, that I adore about Google Drive is that you can save a document in multiple folders. So I can have a HR folder, a weekly meeting folder, and let's just stick with those two. I can have a HR folder and a weekly meeting folder. And I've got this weekly meeting notes Google Doc. I can save it in both the HR folder and the weekly meetings folder. And when I edit that document in Google Drive, stick with me on this, it changes and both folders have the right version. That is worth its weight in gold. So if we've got a document we're collaborating on and I need to make sure that I can find it, and so I've saved it in a few different folders, rest assured you will always have the right most recent version, and it will be in different folders. I even have two separate Google accounts. I have my business Google account, which is CLT Leads, and I have my personal Google account, which is just for Tess Osman. And I have files saved in both. And I can access it in my Tess Osman Gmail account, and I can access that file in my CLT Leads account, and they are always the most recent version. And so I really, really love that feature. Google also makes it easy to see shared files, and I'm going to show you that because I get overwhelmed sometimes with how many files folks are sharing with me, and I get them lost because I forget to put them into a folder. And so I really like that I can just click the shared button and see things that are shared with me. So you've got a few options to upload files. So this is what we're going to talk about first. Ooh, I just had a good question come in. What do you think is the main advantage of using Google Drive as opposed to Microsoft OneDrive and SharePoint? SharePoint is clunky and slow. I'm not a huge SharePoint fan, and also SharePoint is just internally within your organization, whereas Google Drive is external and it can be to anybody, which is why small businesses, consultants really like Google Drive versus large businesses who have big privacy laws and they want to keep everything in-house. They would want you to use SharePoint. Microsoft OneDrive is great. It's just that other people have to have it, or your company would have to purchase, because it's that part of that Office 360 Live feature. I just love Google Drive because it's free, if up to 30 gigs. And then it is I think that the price is really great if you do Google Drive for Business in terms of how much file storage you get. But again, it just depends on how much sharing you're doing internal versus external in your organization. So I know I've worked at companies that wouldn't want me to put a certain document in the cloud to share it with a vendor. I would have to attach it to an email and share it to them. And so if your company has those types of restrictions, then Google Drive you may only be able to use for your personal collaboration and not business collaboration in some cases. So I would recommend Google Drive for Business if your company doesn't have these security drive issues or security restrictions that a lot of large companies do. So there are, the most easy way to create a, or to upload a file is to, again, click on that new button and you choose File Upload or Folder Upload. Again, you can create a new Google Doc using those options as well. I've already talked about that. And so once you upload file, here's that other picture. I thought it was on that previous slide, but it wasn't. So when you click that More button, so I mentioned Google Forms was under the More button. Here's Google Drawings, Google Maps, Google Jamboard is music feature, a zip extractor, and then there's a bunch of other apps you can connect. So see a lot of functionality here that you can use with Google Drive. Okay, so you've uploaded your files either by choosing File Upload or Folder Upload, and now you want to create folders to stay organized. Simple 3-step process. You first click on Folder. Okay, so still I'll click on that New button, and then you choose Folder, and then you name the folder, and then you click Create. And then the folder shows up on your My Drive title on the left side toolbar. So what I want to do, let's see if I have a picture. Just bear with me here. All right, so see on this screen how I'm going to draw a square for you all. See over here. So if you have G Drive for Business, you're going to get Team Drives, which is cool, a cool feature. So see right here, you have My Drive. If you click that drop-down arrow, as you make folders, oh, that's funny. As you make folders, what happens is they populate over here under My Drive so that when you click it, this is a drop-down menu and there are your folders. Let me see if I can get rid of that annotation. I didn't realize, there we go. They would keep going. So now here are my same 3 folders that you saw on my page layout screen, and now I'm just looking at them in a different format over here from my left toolbar. So you can collapse and expand that menu, and then if you expand each of these file folders, you can get a list of the documents that are in those folders. So then what if you are making Google Sheets or Google Slides or Google Docs and you want to move them to a certain folder? So what I've talked about is just creating the folder and uploading files. So now you've got all these files you want to move, or you're making Google Docs and you want to move them to a specific folder. It's so easy. I have a video clip here for you that quickly demonstrates how to do it. So this is My Drive, okay? And what you're going to find is that folder I just created, Collaborating with Google Docs. Right now, there's nothing in it. So I am going to click on the file and drag it over to the folder I want to put it in. Boom, done. Now, if I open the folder, there it is. So it is just a click and drag. I'm going to play that one more time. So there's the folder I just created. There's nothing in it. I can locate the file I want. I just click and drag it. It pops itself in the folder. And here it is. I love a click and drag. So that is, to me, the easiest way to move files around Google Docs. However, you don't have to click and drag. You can right-click the document and choose Move and choose a folder that way. That could be helpful if you've got, 20 different folders and you need to scroll to find the right one. One other thing I want to mention, and I want to see if I can freeze the screen when it gets there, is notice how this file disappears after I move it. Okay, so now if you caught that, you're wondering, wait, where did it go? Is it only in this folder now? No. So if I were to refresh my screen, now since I moved that document, Google moves it to my quick access bar and says, hey, this is the most recent document that you did something with. So now it's not only in the folder, but I can still access it from the quick access. And so you can see here, I've got a lot of documents up here for 2U. This is a project I'm working on. And instead of having to go into the folder and go into the January deliverables and then click on the right one, I've got this visual cue and can just click on the folding guide or click on the career pathing. So it's saving me clicks as well. It's making me more efficient, which I love. I'm always searching for ways to be more efficient. Okay, so when you click the Shared with Me button, this is how you're going to find all of the documents shared with you. So you can see here that under Quick Access, these are the latest documents. Hey, look over here on the right, this is the webinar schedule for when I teach these webinars for Excel with Business Unfiltered. Here's another good personal example. So recently my in-laws went on a very long overseas trip, and we all had to pitch in for house sitting, pets and mail and newspaper and all of that. And so my brother-in-law made a schedule and shared it with all of us. And even my other brother-in-law who doesn't have Google, which I don't know how anybody doesn't have Google, right? He was able to go in and see it, and it was really beneficial for the family. Also, I've used this shared with me piece to access a vacation planner. So I'm, going on a beach trip with friends, and hey, who's going to bring what food? Who's going to bring the toilet paper? Who's going to bring the floats for the pool? And so everybody signs up, and we all have that one place where the document lives. And then I can access it on my phone because I've got the Google Drive app on my phone. And so again, it's just really easy to use. So that shared with me button is where you find documents that people have shared with you. And again, you've got that quick access toolbar at the top. I did include a picture here of the other view. I do love this icon view that I keep showing you, but you can change the view to where you just see the list of the documents, and then over on the right would be the person who shared it with you. So that is available. I want to check the questions. How do you keep the same document in multiple folders across your 2 Google accounts? I click and drag. So I have 2 monitors, and so I just open both Google accounts at the same time, and I can just move it from one to the other. It sounds really like it might not work, but it works like a charm. Is the layout different on an iPad 7? I just opened Google Drive and it doesn't seem as easy. I don't know the answer to that. I do not have an iPad 7, and I primarily use Google Drive on my Mac, on my PC, and on my iPhone. It's been easy for me to use on my Mac and my iPhone. It could be different on the iPad. How secure are your documents when you share them? We will get into that in the next section. Great question. All right. So I mentioned that the best thing about Google Docs is that you can collaborate. You can access your documents from any PC, tablet, phone, etc. You can share files with people that don't use Google Drive. You don't have to worry about file size. You know, attaching something over 1 gig to Gmail isn't going to work. So I can just give you the link to the Google Drive, and we don't have to worry about file size. You don't have to spend time merging different versions of files. So here I wrote this Word document, and now I'm going to send it to everybody for feedback, and then everybody sends me their feedback, and it says version 2, version 3, or Tessa's edits, you know, and then I have to go back and piecemeal it all together so we can collaborate just within the document. One weakness of collaborating with Google Drive is that you cannot yet set expiration dates for links. So that is something I would like to see Google do as an upgrade is, hey, this is only going to be available for the next 30 days or the next week. And then, you know, that increases privacy. You will, and I'll show you this in the next slides, when you share and collaborate in Google Docs, you can restrict who sees what. So you can turn all sharing off except for certain people, and so that is how you can maintain security. But again, I'm going to make that disclaimer that the security is not going to be as tight as your company's security if you're using internal servers. So just keep that in mind, that if you work for a large company, that this might be an issue. So how do you share a file or folder? I am getting ready to get into that. Does shared with me documents use storage? It does. Because, well, you know what? Now that I say that, I don't actually know for sure. Because it's not living in my cloud, it's living in someone else's cloud. Hey, does someone on the webinar know if your shared with me documents section, does that use your Google Drive storage? Is there a difference between Google Drive and Google Photo? Google Photos are in your Google Drive. That's the best way that I know how to explain it. Anything that you do in Google is in your Google Drive. Okay, so let's jump into collaborating. So I've said this, but I really love this visual. So here I am over here living in Charlotte, and here are 3 people that I collaborate with. And it doesn't matter what time zone they're in. It doesn't matter what country they're in. It only matters that I give them access to my Google Doc. And you can see here that I've got a document with Anissa, and she can comment on it. I've got a document with Carrie. I just want her to view it. I've got a document for James. He can edit it. I may even want to transfer the document over to him for full ownership later on. So not only does it not matter where you are, because you just have to have a Gmail account, but I can also specify which people get which type of access, which is a great feature. Okay, so I want to go through sharing permissions. I wanted to keep this webinar just focused on Google Drive. So the way that I'm going to show you now to share is via your Google Drive. You can share any document when you've got the document open in your Google Drive, so your Google slide, your doc, your sheet, whatever. But I didn't want to get into how to do it in slides or how to do it in docs. So I am going to show you how you would do it from your Google Drive. So again, we're in my collaborating with Google Docs folder, and I've moved this one document in here. Let's take a look how I share. So I have to make sure that the document is selected. Notice here, I'm going to back up and start the video over. Notice that when the document is selected, up here in the top right, I get these options. If the document is not selected, those options don't show up. But if it is selected, those options are there. I click on the person with the plus sign, and here we go. So I'm going to pause it real quick and show you the different features on this page or on this pop-up screen. So you can get a shareable link. I like to use the shareable link because I don't want Google to send the email to somebody. I want to be able to say, hey Tess, I've created this presentation. I'd like you to give me feedback on. Click here to access it. And so that's what shareable link means. So I am using my business account. So you're going to see here that it says anyone at CLT Leads with the link can view. If you're using a personal account, it will just say anyone with the link can view. So it'll just take out the add whatever the business is. Okay. If I drop down that can view menu, I can change it to can edit, can comment, etc. Okay. I can also, instead of getting the link, type in names and email addresses and do it that way. So now there's my shareable link. Here's how I change can edit, can comment, can view. And then here is what I was talking about with privacy. You can set a document, you can even set a whole folder to be public to anyone on the web, anyone with the link, anyone at your company with the link, or you can make something super duper private, turn it completely off, so no link sharing except specific people. Okay, and so I definitely do that. So if we choose specific people, I want you to watch what happens. I clicked specific people, I click save. Now take a look at this screen. I can only type in email addresses. And so now I'm going to share with Deb at Filtered. I want to give her access to either edit or comment or view. And hey, I want to share this with my personal account too. So you can do it this way. The person who asked the question about moving a file between Gmail accounts, you can also just share it with your other account. If you don't have that dual screen feature or that sounded too tricky, it'll show up in your shared with me file and then a folder, and then you can just click and drag it to the folder in your other Gmail account that you want to use. So you can do it that way. And then I'm going to click send. Because this is a business account, it's saying, hey, are you sure you want to share with these people? So I'm going to click yes. You won't get that with your personal account. And that's it. So that is all happening. That all happens. I'm going to pause it here. Under the, when you're in the folder, you click the little plus person, and that is how you share documents. Now, how does somebody see the document? They click on the easiest way is to just click on the shared with me section. So it's going to come via email, whether you choose to send the email or whether Google sends the email. But you can also say, hey, I shared that with you. Just click on your shared with me tab and you'll see the document there. So you can also do it that way. You can also share an entire folder. So I like to do that with consulting clients, and I will just share an entire folder, and that way anything I upload into that folder, they will be able to see. And so that way I don't have to go document by document, and that is very, very helpful. So another thing about sharing that I want to make sure we cover today is, oh, here it is. Here's that whole folder. So let me talk very quickly about that piece, since I just mentioned it and then got ahead of myself and didn't go to the next screen. To share a whole folder, so here's a folder. And when the folder is highlighted, so see how it's blue, that means that folder is activated. Then I get another little person and a plus sign up here in the top corner, and then I can share the entire folder. So rather than open the folder and share each document, I can just share that entire folder, and I love that feature. So that could be very useful for you as well if you've got folders that you're going to have a lot of documents in. So the next thing are, here's some more sharing features. So when you share a document, you can understand more about, oh, hey, who did I share that with again? Or who has changed this document? Or, I need to go ahead and download this to the computer now that all the changes have been made. If you click the three dots in the top right-hand corner, then you access a new menu that gives you more things to do with the document. My favorite feature, if you're collaborating with other folks, is to make sure I can see what has been shared, how it's been shared. So here, if I open up the view details, then this is the screen that I get. So I can see that I moved the item to a different folder. I can see that I shared it. I can see that I restricted access to it. So here I'm under activity, but I can also get details of it, which I love. So that is one of my favorite features of when I am sharing. Now I want to jump into, you've shared the document. This is the best part. This is what we've been waiting the past 40 minutes for, right? When you share a document, if you give someone view-only access, all they're doing is looking at it. It's much like you would get a PDF and you can't do anything with it on your computer, you're just reading it. So someone who has view access just gets the ability to see it. Someone who has comment access can leave comments with their opinions, and those comments are trackable. So I get an email when someone leaves comments in a document that I've shared with them. I love that because I might be, hey, take the next week, and then I might forget to go back into it, or I don't want to go into it until I know that they've done the work to read through and make comments. And so I get emails, hey, Cleveland just commented on your cloud storage for families document. And here we see all of Cleveland's comments. See the check mark beside, almost kind of beside his name? That can be for me to close what I consider like this comment is a ticket. He's saying, hey, replace in fact at with at. And so to me, that's like, oh, yep, I do want to do that. And then I click the check mark and it will close, close the comment. This comment has been addressed. This comment is closed. I can also comment back to him. If I click on his comment, a comment box opens up for me. Hey, Cleveland, I'm going to keep this one the way that it is. Okay. Now, if Cleveland has commenting and editing rights, take a look down here. Further in the document where we see although is scratched out and replaced with though, he's making those changes directly in the document because he has editing rights. Okay, so I like giving people editing rights so that they can go in and make changes. Sometimes that's not useful. I do have things that I don't want people to make changes to. I just want them to proofread for me. Another great thing is, let's say that excuse me, Cleveland and I live in different time zones. And so when I'm sleeping, he's awake and he's making all of these comments. So this is asynchronous collaboration, okay? But Cleveland and I can have synchronous collaboration as well because Google Drive has a chat feature. And so when people are logged into a document at the same time, you will see their names and they appear with different colors. So I love how Google does this. So if the person is in their current Gmail account and they're looking at the document you shared with them, their name's going to show up. So just like over here on the left on this computer screen, you see Dennis Nolan. But if the person is looking at it and they are not in Gmail, or let's say maybe they're logged out and they're looking at it, or and I'm sure there's probably other reasons too, then Google gives them funny names: anonymous chinchilla, anonymous chipmunk, anonymous chupacabra. And I just think that's really great. This primarily happens, again, with people who don't have Gmail, or if you have a document that is public and people that you don't know are looking at it. So I do think that's funny. But then look over here again on the left and see the different colors. This is where everybody's cursor is in the document. If you're using Google Slides, you will see everyone's color on the slide that they're on. So I think that's really cool too. Let's say we're in a conference call and I've shared the document with everybody. I can actually see who's active. I can see who's idle. I can see if everybody's on slide 5 or if everybody's, poking around on all the other slides during the call. And then over here on the right, when somebody is logged in to the document that you have shared, then you will get this icon. Okay, you see it here, you see it here. You will not get this icon if you were the only one on the document, which is why I had to pull these 2 screenshots from the internet because I didn't have anybody to collaborate with when I was building this class. So I pulled these two screenshots for you. You will not see this chat feature if you're the only one looking at the document, okay? When you want to chat with somebody, you click on that chat document and then this chat box opens up. So I have had some really great, quick, synchronous collaboration sessions with clients because we'll be in the doc at the same time and we'll be like, hey, take a look at slide 5. Do you want to change this real quick? Oh, yep, I do. Or, you know, any type of conversation we need to have. I love this feature in Google Drive. Dropbox doesn't give you that feature. It's the other primarily used cloud storage solution for companies. Office 365 is only going to let you do it within your own company. And again, the reason why this one is great is because I can do it with anybody because of my consulting business. So that real-time collaboration, that synchronous collaboration is key. All right, I am going to start answering questions. We've got a bunch of questions that have been coming in, and I've kind of been letting them build up. And so I planned for some extra Q&A because I thought that there might be a lot of questions coming in. So we've got a good 10 minutes for this piece. So while I'm on the screen, let me open up Q&A and get started. So, okay, good. Somebody answered the question that a document shared with you does take up your space. Love that. Thank you. Can you specify who can view, comment, or edit by sharing with everyone at the same time, or do you have to send separately if they have different viewing or editing rights? I send separately because I get a little paranoid sometimes if I want somebody to edit versus somebody to view. I don't know if there's a way to actually do it all at one time. If someone does, I would love to hear that. But I do it separately because then I stay more organized. So, hey, this one time I'm doing it is for all the people who can edit. This one time I can do it, or this other time that I'm typing in these email addresses, these are all the people who can view. So that just keeps me straight. I know there isn't a way to make a link expire. What's the best way to unshare a document that you've shared with a group? So you can unshare. What you would do is, let me see. Let's see, everybody, if you can see this next screen. I want to show you. Let's see. Is it over here? Nope, that's a different screen that I had up. I thought that I had pulled up my Google Drive. Oh, I did. It's here. Can everybody, okay, screen sharing has stopped. So let me go back. I just need to share a different screen. And we'll take a look at this. Okay. So let's say that I've shared a document. I'm going to open this, or I'm going to click on this onboarding project tracker. Now this is going to take me into Google Sheets, okay, so please keep in mind that I've just been showing you Google Docs. But if I go to share, then I can click on advanced, and this is how I see all of the people who I've shared with, and I can delete them, okay? This is also, so whoever asked the question about changing everybody's ability to edit, view, or comment, you can give everybody view access to start and then go into your advanced settings and change it. Oh my goodness, look at that. Set expiration. I think this is only because of business, Google Business. I didn't even, look, I just learned something new in this moment because I just assumed because I didn't have it in my personal account, I didn't have it in business either. So you can do an expiration date, but if you're using, wow, this just made my day. If you're using a non-business account, I still don't think you can do that, but I can go in here and cancel each person. So how do you make a document show up under quick access? You just access it. You just open it. So take a look at this. Let's look at this document, which is just some research that I've been doing. Now, if I go back to my drive and I refresh the screen, oh, of course that didn't work. Of course it didn't since I'm live and haven't practiced this, but it should show up under here in quick access. Oh no, here it is over here on the right. It just showed up. So Google does that for you based on what you access. How can you make a document? Oh, okay, I just did that one. Can you explain one more time about same file updates in different folders? Yep. So you can save a document to multiple folders. So I could, so you guys know this project tracker is in this 2U onboarding program folder. I can also move it to, oh goodness, I can also move it to my collaborating with Google Docs folder. And basically any change that I make, this document will move or will change in both folders. It's just one document that is now in multiple locations, but Google, it only has one version of it. What's the best way to map Google Drive as a drive in Windows? That question is above my ability level. I am very sorry. So you can access Google Drive files from within Windows or File Manager. I do know, let me go ahead and pull this screen up. Drive, let's see, hold on. Let me show you guys my favorite help tool. I have two favorite help tools for collaborating with Google Drive. And they are gsuite.google.com. So for that question, the best way to map Google Drive as a drive, I would look for it here. But this is the whole G Suite help section. I really love this resources. Here's solutions for small businesses, and then also features. So controls, access, creating, collaborating, all of that is there. How do I put images in my cloud? Same way you upload any folder or any file. So you just put new file upload. And you can put images within your Google Drive as well. Appreciate if you could show collaboration again. Okay. Can you share Microsoft Office files in the same way? But look at this. So you can upload who knows what this is going to bring up. Pictures of my children. Aren't they cute? Let's see. Let me go to all right, so here we go. Here's a Word document that a blog post that I recently wrote. See, now I just uploaded it, 10 Excel formulas, okay? So that's a Microsoft Word document. Now, when I open it, see up here, open with Google Docs, Google will convert the Microsoft Word document to, if it works, a Google Doc. Now, I can share the Google Doc or get feedback. Instead of sending it via a email attachment and getting feedback from Excel with Business on this document, I can just have the blog owner comment directly, hey, change this, or hey, this some section is confusing. So way easier. So that's a super duper feature. So yes, there is collaboration when sharing Microsoft Office files. How can, let's see, how do I easily convert Excel to Sheets? The same way, okay? And PowerPoint the exact same way. Here's how you convert it back, everybody. You go to File, download as, okay? So once I make all my changes, I can download it as a Microsoft Word doc, and it goes back into a Word document that I can then save to my, computer. Here's version history. So there's not going to be any version history on this, but I can see the last time changes were made. So if someone gets edit access, then you can see the version history that way. Can you upload PDFs? Yep. And when you upload PDFs, sometimes you can make them open in Google Slides and they'll open well and you can collaborate on them, which is great. Let's say that somebody has made changes in a file and saved it as a version 2. So Google, here's the thing about saving with Google Drive. As you make changes, it's automatically saved. So nobody will have, there should never be a version 2. So Excel formulas, make a change here, okay? I now can just close this tab, and I didn't click save, but now, so here it is in Word document form, here's that file in doc form, but now if I open it, okay, so if I had been sharing this with people, then I would see who made that comment, like insert comments here. Okay, so see that I highlighted and there's the comment. So there should never be a version 2, because then, oh yeah, I want to make that change. All right, resolved, done. Okay. So, so that's the great thing about collaborating. I hope that that answered your question. Maybe that was as clear as mud. All right, so I want to go ahead and wrap up. There were a bunch of questions that I hope I was able to get to. If you have a question that I didn't answer, please connect with me on LinkedIn. Please connect with me at cltleads.com, and I will, let's see if I can bring this back up for you, and I will be happy to answer any questions. I did record this webinar, so our friends at Excel with Business and Filtered will have the webinar out on their YouTube channel. If you are a participant in the webinar, then you will get a link to go out and view it again. That's all I have. So thanks everybody for joining today, and I hope that you learned something new. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit subscribe and the bell icon to keep up to date with our latest content. Happy learning!